from this pose to this pose, we're losing the character. It's a different pose, but it doesn't feel like the same person making that pose. And there's a few reasons for that. The big one is the eyes. We're losing the shape and consistency of the eye expression. So I reset the pose and then I made a new one. And because I'm not paying attention to those lines, the lines of the eyes and how that shapes for this character, I'm losing the character. So to make this feel consistent, I just need to, once again, keep those lines in mind. So straight down the center and then round at the top there. So let's do that super quick. So I'm going to take the overall eye shape, round that out just a little bit more. Bring in that corner there. And already that's feeling more like that character. The eyes are going to be the biggest thing here. Okay. Now, she's angry. If I really want to push the anger, I could kind of bring the center eyelid or center corner up a little bit. It'll create more of a tension in the center of the eye there. And is Wolf Warrior, hello, thank you so much for the follow. But let's kind of do one step at a time. I'm going to do a little bit of a raise on the eye corners out here because I did raise them quite a bit on the other pose. So her eye corners tend to be higher than default. So we've got something like that. Okay. Let's compare now. We have that, and then that. Okay, we're getting closer. What are we missing? Well, for one thing, we've got the lower lids too relaxed. Now, this isn't to say that the lower lids always have to be engaged, but right now, if she's angry, it feels odd that those lower lids would be totally just sitting there doing nothing. Let's kind of bring those up. Already that helps a lot. So part of a character feeling off model is the consistency of shapes, but also if you have everything engaged on one pose and then certain elements are not in another pose, it creates an inconsistency. It creates the feeling that the character is not alive in a sense. So, how's that feeling? Okay, better already. Much more on model. We're keeping that shape of the eye more consistent. Now, it doesn't mean that we have to match the shape of the eye. Not at all. We're just trying to keep those similar attributes in there. So, for example, how else can we push this? Well, maybe I want to make the top lid just a little bit flatter. Kind of get rid of the round happiness of it. I can do that as long as I make sure I'm thinking of those lines. Straight, curve. I don't want to push this so much that we start getting 4 lines. So straight, straight, curve. You can see how that creates a 4th line right there. Line. Let's actually draw it out. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. That's going to cause the character to start falling off of model again. And eyelids are very susceptible to that because eyelids don't really move aside from just opening and closing and moving with the eye itself, kind of shaping to where we look to. We can't tilt our eyelid or move one part of it. It's just skin. So we have to be very careful that we keep these things consistent. Otherwise, we will fall out of the character. So I'm just gonna, this is me just polishing things up, trying to get a little bit more anger in here. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to push the corners of the eye to feel a little bit more tighter compared to the outer edges. And if I really wanted to push anger, I can push the brows so that they overlap the eye a little bit more. So something more like that. And if we compare this, well, that still feels like the same character. And it's really the shape of the eyes. Now you'll notice that the lower edges down here, they change. That's okay. Because when we smile, the outer edges get pushed out, or sorry, the outer side of our eye, the lower eye, gets pushed up. When we sneer or we're angry, it's the inner edge. So it changes. And Josh, oh, thank you so much for the sub. Oh, I really appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you so much. And my day is going pretty well. Aside from the internet just being oddly weird and unstable today, it's actually a very beautiful fall day. All the leaves have fallen. It's icy cold, but it is beautiful. So let's say we have this character now. So this character is a little bit different. Let's make her into this angry pose. I'm going to take this and I'm just going to copy it. So we want this character to feel angry now. If we go from here to here, oops, sorry, hiccups. If we go from here to here, that doesn't feel like the same character anymore. Again, same thing. We are losing the consistency of the eyes, and in this case, the lips as well, because in this case, the lip has this very specific little dent in the center. So let's keep that consistent. So here we're getting a line that kind of comes through here and then rounds out at the top. So line like so. Still 3 lines, but it's much more angled in the center. And then the mouth comes down here. So let's try to keep that consistent here. So as we come in here, I'm going to just reset the inner controls and try to create that line in there. So take this. Oops, wrong control there. I want the center one. Bring that in just a little bit. So a little bit more like that. Now let's see how close we are here. It's always good to compare. Okay, that's feeling better on the center. But the outer edge is very different now. The outer edge of the eyes here are very high. So I want to take that and emphasize that as well. They're going to be lower because she's frowning, but we still want that high peak right there. Lower lids, same thing. You can see how they have this very almond shape to them. So let's take this and try to get that shape in there. A little bit more like that. There we go. Now again, I'm not trying to copy the eye shape and just get it to match 100%. That's not it at all. It's just making sure that the lines are similar. And that's going to make all the difference. So something like that. Now, the lip. Let's try to push that. So her lip, I would just kind of bring this down. Maybe bring these in a little bit. Get that pinch in there. So something like that. And just those little changes, we've got the same character now. Now this corner here, I'm going to raise it up just a little bit more right here. So we can actually see a change as she scowls down. Same thing on this one. Oops, no, not on the scowl, on the smile. That needs to come up higher. So something like that. There we go. So really paying attention to the lines. That's really it. I know I keep repeating it the same over and over, but when you're trying to keep a character on model, that's going to be the biggest part of it. Finding those design elements of the character and just keeping track of them. The hardest thing to do is to track the eyes, because any little change makes a huge difference.